Spirit. My name is Janine Christie Hill, and I'm running for president from homelessness. I run my business out of the local library here, which is the Murphy Wilmar Library. Well, within my right, because it's a public library. And well, all my life I've paid taxes everywhere that I've lived, you see. Until this city blacklisted me and made me homeless because I use cannabis as a part of my business. Now, let's talk about what I just got handed to me by way of a police officer because management is too much of a pussy to come speak to me to themselves. See? So just 1 second. Oops, not that part. We're gonna go over there. We're gonna go there. You see this lovely little highlighted portion? You're gonna have to mirror your camera. Okay. But basically it says number 8, please do not allow any person to smoke marijuana in public place or open space. This is actually a document apparently for employers or employees, not me. A guest of the facility. You know that means that they had to go searching for this BS. Okay, then let's talk about it. I told him this for a year. I just been with for a year. They banned this gentleman next to me for a year, apparently. When they don't like you, they don't like you. You have to submit to their will out here because Karen and Becky are real out here. Now, I'm not afraid for any effing reason some other people might be. Like, they have things that they need to take care of. So they don't speak back. But you see, I'm an American citizen with all of my rights, bitch. And when I decide to speak full throatedly, I have the right to do so, even in a library. It's a constitutional right to free speech, and they continue to violate mine repeatedly. They also violate my American with Disabilities rights. I use medical marijuana because I have to deal with Karen and Becky and their passive aggressive microaggressions towards me using men like the police, putting my life in danger the way they did my cousin, George Floyd, and every other black person that doesn't submit to Karen or Becky out this bitch. And that goes for the rest of you. Because when I put you up on game, they become afraid of you too. Now they're closing ranks and their numbers are getting smaller. The gays are looking at them in the same way because, you know, they're coming up out of that gay haze and realizing you don't really like them. You just want to be around them because they're the fun friends, aren't they? They get you your little treats and trinkets, don't they? Is one of you sleeping with someone from Sister Jose's? You don't say. Your Sister Jose is not the baby of the current city mayor, menacing Romero, had a women's center, a shelter, women going through the most difficult times in their lives. And she thought it was best to put them on TV in your city. It took me pointing out that there were enemies of the state in the shelter without papers. Now, how can that be? A Russian, a Cuban, a Venezuelan, and an African, all undocumented in this country at Sister Jose's at the exact same time that your city mayor is putting them up as a shining example of taking care of the homeless in your city. Was she not sacrificing everybody in that bitch? Hmm. Would you know a whirling dervish, a bruja, a voodoo priestess, or any of it on site? Did they tell you about the fire on site? Did they tell you about the woman who stabbed herself in the head with scissors? I wasn't even in that bitch. So it couldn't be me. Who are the witches in your city? in your city. I tell you a secret. A lot of them like to dye their hair. A lot of them like to hide behind Christ. A lot of them like to call on the saints. Like Michael, who next door here. If you were going to sacrifice 50 women going through the midst of their iniquities, you probably need about 250 innocent children to cover it by way of spiritual strength. You know, maybe go to the Pope the way the Russian told me and have a hit sanctioned by the Vatican. Oh, y'all didn't know about that? The Vatican sanctions war and hits, ladies and gents. Can't have Jesus walking around here when y'all say that he's the true and living anointed one, see, the Pope, that is. But y'all voted him into office the way you do the president. So that sounds a whole lot more like the opposite of God in it. So when I was in the midst of it, you know, sick, dehydrated, and looking for God in your city, and I couldn't find it, stands to reason now, doesn't it? There is no God in your city. Just a bunch of predominantly white identifying people praising Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't have no love for Black Lives Matter either, right? Hmm? Didn't he say way back when he was in New York that he thought the Central Park Five was guilty? Could that be the first time that he put five people up for sacrifice? He'd have the money to do it then. He has the money to do it now, does he not? And today he has the backing of Putin, Netanyahu. The only ones he couldn't get, the Muslims. Wanna know why? They don't see Jesus the same as you do. They couldn't get y'all to crucify, get them to crucify me on your behalf. See? You to tell them that I was a wayward Muslima, but that was very easy to fix because all I had to do was tell them what my husband did to me. He destroyed the sanctity of our marriage, not I. See, and then when you run that up the chain of other religions, they feel the same because, well, they really do believe in family. Where you just use people for energy and/or money. Hit dogs are hollering at this time because now the Catholics recognize they're involved in the same thing as the Church of Scientology. There is no difference, honey. You're all cults built on someone else's version of your reality. Remember, this is a Puritan nation started by colonizers. Before you ever arrived, I'd like for you to answer something for me. Prior to 1490, any damn thing, did you know any Mexicans or Canadians? You knew colonies. Who owned the colonies? Who owned the land that the colonizers stole? That's whom you owe your soul to, ladies and gentlemen. However, not who you sold it to. You sold it to the non-existence. Hmm. This is very, very simple. Very, very simple. Yeah. Say, for instance, all the indigenous people come together and say, "Hey, you're our queen, and you own all of the lands that we originally owned because we never sold it to them, we never gave it to them, and we signed them BS treaties. They were also supposed to give it back to us, and also they violated the treaty before we ever could. So technically, we are own everything, right? So that means everything you own, you either need to pick it up, put it on a boat, and take it to the colonizers over there, or you don't own shit." And you're living on borrowed time and you need to pay rent. Or we can turn into the savages you claim us to be and put you out our shit. And we don't have an eviction process. We're real people. We just come and take our kids. You understand? Violence begets violence. I have been nonviolent up until this point. But Karen and Becky think I won't swing on a bitch in public. So what I do is mollywop their ear hustling asses all the way into extinction. You gotta go home and explain why you feel like shit every day working at the library. Why you coming home from the library getting drunk like a skunk. It's because you're a hateful piece of shit. And no one can tell you that, management, but I can. Because what you gonna do to me? Harass me? Violate my rights some more, you see? I'm documenting everything. Have been for a year out here. And longer if we're talking about the manosphere. Which is why it feels like everyone is here witnessing this moment in history. You're going down with them, daughters of, you know, the Civil War. Those of you who wanted to see the South rise again and was going to assist the white men's in doing it. hmm The good old boys had to have somebody feed them, keep them going. And then they had the ones that they wouldn't actually do anything more than sleep with. I hear they become librarians. You know what they say about librarians? Yeah, they're freaks in the sheets. You know why? Because nobody knows who they're sleeping with. They keep secrets for a living. Do you know how the public library is run? It's your first entrance to government, really, outside of, what you learn in school. But if you don't abide by every one of their rules, even the arbitrary ones that they go and find in employee handbooks, and then only apply to those that they don't like. Because we talk about the number of people who stand outside of this facility and smoke any and every damn thing. Okay. If we talk about the bag that's been left by the trash can for about 2 days around the corner, but I ain't said shit. Neither have Kathy and Becky. Why might that be? See, because they're guilty of blacklisting me. They assisted people out of New York. See, as I said, the guy Gio, who had businesses in North Carolina, had damn near killed a basketball player, feeding him poisoned food. He could have given him salmonella. I rang the alarm by letting him know that someone else had already called the health inspectors that time. It wasn't me. You see, the night that I quit, I watched the young man call the health inspectors. The next morning, all three of his restaurants were ran up and raided simultaneously by the health department because he could have killed somebody. And he had someone who was there doing a stage, which is an unpaid training, wash old raw chicken, put Italian dressing on it, and attempt to serve it. We went, me and some classmates, had a couple drinks, talked about it. I sent an email saying I quit. I didn't go back. You understand? That's why I was blacklisted. My integrity, my name, what I do for a living is more important than covering some punks anywhere in the world. I won't take charges for anybody. And any idiot that does deserves the consequences of doing so. As far as I know, Gio had enough money to move from North Carolina and start three businesses. He also used to tell people that he murdered one of his associates. It was an accident, though. Like he fell into him with a knife. It's not like he went all gung ho on the dude. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now, let's talk about the next thing. If you want to be all arbitrary with our rulings, Kathy, Becky, you might want to go and get the police officer and have him go around to everybody that you know smokes anything anywhere that's not the fucking sidewalk and give them one of these notes. or admit that you're closeted racist along with the rest of your city council and most of its management. You are not a former sundown town. You are a sundown town. If it were not for the fact that you were afraid of me, you would have had me dead. But you can't kill me because you can't bust a grape on my beautiful black ass. I'm so anointed by the creator of all things. And you have never known God because you don't know me. See? And don't go looking me up, Becky. I don't sign into your shit. So you don't know my name. And don't go asking Smurfy